Levack and Goz live from Mohawk Chevrolet, right here, just off of exit 12 of the Northway. Love this place. It's like bringing my truck back to visit its parents. It's nice. It's beautiful here today. They got the car wash rolling, the big trees up. I understand there's lunch coming in at some point. And of course, we already have bowl games going as we speak while we tape this live. And we also are on the Tech East Fire and Water Restoration Facebook page, as well as Godzilla Media's YouTube and Goz's Twitter, because Goz needs friends.
This is our last show live, Levack, in 2022.
I define live. Just define live for me.
I am live and in living color. We are, by the way, our visual side here. You've watched Mohawk Chevrolet shows with us before. A whole new setup. We've got the wonderful Christmas tree in the background. We've got wonderful vehicles.
This is me.
I did do this, actually.
I'm trying to be a jolly fat guy. It's not working. While we're here, I got a couple movie passes to give away for Crossgates Mall, Regal Cinemas in the Crossgates Mall. So if you can stop on by, say hello while we're here, which will be till what?
1 o'clock. Maybe probably a little. I might be checking out a little sooner. We'll see.
Wow.
No, I just say that.
You.
What?
Freaking somebody's got senioritis.
No,
Last live show of the year. Can't wait to get out. Peace, bitches.
No, that's not it. Nate, our friend, who, by the way, got here again.
I walked in. I go, hey, is Nate here? They go, on a Saturday? And I was like, Nate's the hardest working dude we know. He's like, on a Saturday? I'm like, wow.
They signaled to us that there was some music that was going to be here. So I didn't know if they were going to kick us out or overplay over us or legally.
I'm good with whatever. It's better. I'm sure it sounds better than we do. So
legally, I'm not allowed to use that music though, and YouTube will tell me I can't.
It's new. I mean, maybe it's live. Maybe it's like original cuts.
Could be.
Maybe Brandon Cece will come in with his trombone.
Boy,
or his trumpet. He said, "No, yeah, I don't know what he plays."
Dynasty beats from our pregame shows from earlier in the year that you said are now banned from the show.
Dude, there is elevator music that thrashes harder than that crap that you were playing. Like, really, it was bad. Are you gonna bring it up?
No, he's not on here. I saw her on Beauty and the Beast ripping on the electric guitar. She's great. Can't use that either.
Yeah, like you cheaped out on all of that this year. That should be your New Year's resolution: is to give me some music to play. Occasionally, it doesn't suck. Well, just go find me a bunch of public domain. Like, that's fine.
There's an oxymoron there, I think, right? Where
you're a moron.
I did buy the music, but
I use Neutrogena. Good. I don't even use Oxy, you moron.
The big Neutrogena, Frank Thomas.
The big Neutrogena. Nugenics.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wow, what a whiff out of the gates there.
That was always my favorite thing with that, when people would rip into the Big Hurt. I'd be like, why are you selling supplements when you're fat? Like, can you imagine like me promoting like diet food right now? Like, you know what you need?
I just assume the Big Hurt's all muscle though. You think he's got a little fat on him? I can't tell. I think he's just a big ball of muscle. You think Frank Thomas isn't? Yeah. I think there's a difference between Frank Thomas and CC Sabathia.
Yes, but Frank Thomas is also CC's not out peddling eugenics. CC got ripped for a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
He could do it if he wanted to. He just doesn't care. Why would he bother? Like there's big things like no, Frank Thomas got fat. And now he's selling, this I keep my testosterone up. This fake crap that if you ever call them, they will put you on like a million lists and you'll start getting weird emails from the Middle East. And
Joe Namath is the worst.
Which one's Joe Namath?
Joe Namath has like the old person one during The Price is Right. I think he promotes the lift chair.
Well, Joe Namath is bad, but Brett Favre was the worst.
Oh,
like in the middle of the night, Brett Favre's running on copper fit with the eyebrow trimmers and all this other crap. It's like, it just got to the point where anything you put in front of Favre, he was going to sell for you. Yeah. At home colonoscopy. I love it. It's the best. We here at Godzilla Media have never actually seen Brett Favre sell an at-home colonoscopy. That's legal. Asked us to say that. All right. So live at Mohawk Chevrolet, Yankees. Listen, I'm very happy with my New York Yankees. I was afraid that when they spent all the money on bringing back Judge, giving Judge the money that they probably should have been paying for the last 6 years, that they were going to be done and they were going to spend any more money. Now, I still think they're going to do some things. I think they're going to try and get rid of some of the money that's on the books right now to try and get a little lower, not have to pay as much of the luxury tax, the Steve Cohen tax, if you will. Oh, my God, that burp was loaded.
You've warned me you might puke during the show today. That sounded like it was coming right at that moment.
That was bad. I felt it in my forehead. That was weird. No, but so they went and got Rondon. Rondon. I can't speak. It's over. So they went and got pitching. They had another pitcher. Basically, they brought in their third starter. Basically,
I don't think it's. I've been battling this last few days. This take on this move by the Yankees because it feels like with the snow around, the hot take of this is going to melt the snow across the capital region. But is this more important than Judge? And hang on before everyone's such assaulting me and saying how dumb I am and how I'm not respecting Judge. Here's what I mean by that. Okay. You know, there have been people, especially Yankee fans, who look at the Judge signing and have been a little critical of it, saying, is Judge ever going to be better? Yeah, that's great. You got Judge back, but there's a few more issues the Yankees have.
Yeah, you put Rondon, it's Rondon.
Did I spell it wrong?
Yeah, you added
Oh my God, I added an N?
Yeah, I think you turned it into like somebody who fights Godzilla instead of. That's why it screwed me all up.
Shocking. Guys going out strong here with misspellings on the banner. Some things didn't change in 2022.
Yeah, so if you're watching this live or if you're going to watch it later, just check out Goz.
Don't worry. It's already wrong on YouTube as well with the spelling.
Thank God you're not running a sports network in the local area.
Anyways, back to
two of them at the moment.
My hot take I was going to drop on everyone.
Fox
for the people
with Goz. Is it faux sports with you or are you going to spell Fox wrong?
I mean, technically it's never mind. With the signing there for the Yankees, for those who were critical of the Judge signing, saying even though you have Judge, you didn't win with Judge.
Right.
You can't really argue against this one because, okay, here's your pitcher, here's your lefty, here's the rotation getting better. And if you were critical of the Yankees not having enough offense in the postseason, which is a fair critique, okay, well, let's lesser the other team's offense. So we just got to get a little bit better and catch Houston or whatever other team you see is the biggest threat in the AL. Does that make sense? Like, is this actually a potentially bigger deal as a signing than Judge?
I mean, when you preface it with they needed to do something beyond just bring back Judge. Yeah, I think it's a pretty big deal. I think this is the one that your diehard fans like myself and Aaron Judge feel like had to happen. Because there was rumors that when he talked to Hal Steinbrenner said, we're going to pay you and we're not done improving the team. And this validates that statement. So this takes that statement. And then, like, for all the people who are like, you know what, Hal's got to be a little bit more like George. He's got to be a little bit more like George. This is the most George Hal's been, since when he overreacted and signed, Beltran, let Cashman sign Beltran, McCann, and I can't remember who the pitcher was all at once.
And you know what?
Jacoby Ellsbury too, and there was another one too.
I would say this is more aggressive than that because you're talking about an MVP. Yep, more money, MVP. Pitcher, you could argue is maybe out of his prime, but at least you're going to find out if his prime's going to hit now or later.
30.
Yeah, this is a more aggressive time for the history of post-George and the Yankee legacy of the franchise. And even to add more to this too, like the two things that jump out to me about this deal. One, over the last 10 years, have long-term pitcher contracts really paid off? Only Scherzer for like Washington, you can really point to and say, okay, you got Scherzer. He led you to a World Series. He was great. It might go into the Hall of Fame one day as a Washington National over any other franchise. But you're getting a guy from the West Coast, and this is my favorite stat about him. In 9 innings, spread it off, 14 strikeouts per 9 innings. There are some really dumb stats in baseball in 2022 with WAR and everything else.
Careful what you say about WAR.
Right. That's right, War Pig. Merry Christmas to War Pig. But you're telling me you're getting a pitcher who's a lefty who's averaging 14 strikeouts per 9? Yeah. 80-30? Yeah. I love all of those things about this signing for the Yankees. They should be thrilled if you're a Yankee fan getting that combination now of those two players.
So I'm looking up the rotations for the AL East. Buster posted them a day ago. Yankees. Cole, Rodon, Cortez, Severino, Montas, and Germán. Domingo Germán. When you make a deal like they made for Rodon, and he's not your ace, he's your 2, but he makes your ace better because now your ace knows he doesn't have to go out there and crush it. And look, the reason this is as big a deal as you're making it out to be is that every other pitcher they put next to him, with the exception of like guys that are bringing like Cortez, completely shot out of a cannon last year. You know, nobody expected him to be that good. Domingo Germán, when he pitched, nobody expected him to be that good. Severino was good, but he's been hurt. Like you bring in, James Tyone, you bring in all these other guys, Corey Klubers. They're basically, I'm sorry, when the Yankees brought them, they're scrap heap guys. They're guys who are out of the game for injuries or cancer or God knows what else. And you bring them in, you pay them as little as possible to give them a chance to prove that they belong. This is a guy who was the most coveted free agent pitcher left on the market. So this isn't one of those ones like, hey, let's see if we can catch lightning in a bottle with this guy one more time. This is a guy who's supposed to come in, fire up your rotation, and make everything better.
It feels different between the Lance Lynn and Sonny Gray acquisitions deadline-wise, and we've seen Yankee brass be very aggressive when it comes to July and August and making those moves. When you get somebody preseason compared to midseason, the expectations are also different too. And maybe mentally, and maybe more so Sonny Gray than any of those acquisitions, hey, your expectation now is to lead us to a championship, and you've got to be almost perfect in every single start. Right. Like, you're the reason we're going to get pushed over the top. When you get to spread out a little bit and be like, okay, I'm going to start in April, and Boone's going to get his thing out and say how many innings I'm going to get here and there. Right. Like, you kind of get to settle down a little bit.
Right. Well, and it's not all on you too. Like,
right.
Hey, we don't know who's starting the bottom third of our rotation. So you better be ready to win, because we could be on like a 1-2, 2-1, bullpen's burned out kind of thing. So you're going to have to go out there and throw 7 2/3. And they got to be lights out. Now it's Cortez probably comes a little bit back down. I don't think he's going to be as dominant as he was last year, which, God, I hope I'm wrong. I hope he is. But I'm also thinking Montas maybe comes up a little bit, because he was very good before he got here, unless he's Sonny Gray, whatever, who knows. But with what we're looking at, to have that 1-2 punch in the top of the lineup, top of the order, it's gonna be very intriguing to see how this works. This is now officially a better team than last year.
I'm curious as well, in the spring and summer of 2023, how they handle his nickname is still the Alien Dominguez down in AA, the Martian. Thank you, the Martian. Shout out to Dan Fiorito, his AA manager, former guest here on Levack and Goz, of how they're going to handle him. And yes, if you follow us on social media, I gave the Arizona Fall League a compliment about how Dominguez and how that all happened. So there's your Christmas gift that maybe, possibly, the Arizona Fall League might have helped his career.
Sorry, what? Did you say you like the Arizona Fall League?
No. Check the audio side. Hit that 15-second replay. I said Dominguez may have benefited from that.
This is what I don't understand. Curveball sliders. This doesn't make up for the way Cashman handled Judge this year, but it's a step in the right direction. They made him a big offer before the season. He didn't take it. Did they go public with it? Should they not have? Sure. But are we even sure they're the ones who went public with it? There's no proof of that. Those things happen on both sides all the time. It's called business. I don't like this is Cashman could walk in with a genetically enhanced, just twin version of Mickey Mantle in his prime without the knee injury. And some Yankee fans would be like, couldn't find Babe Ruth. Like, it's just like, get off the guy's ass.
I think curveball sliders might be getting more so at the ego, hurt feelings of there were so many other opportunities during the season to make this happen for Judge, and they waited to the end. I think that's the point he's trying to make.
But Judge said he wasn't going to do it during the season too. Like, it was like it got done. Like, let's not.
He made $130 more million than he would have.
Yeah,
right. Like, it's over now.
And it got done. Now, if he signs with the Giants and you want to be pissed off about that, go for it. But he didn't. They got it done. Brian Cashman's job is not to make us happy on like the fluff of it. His job is to get us World Series rings. Hasn't been able to do that since 2009. I get that. But he tried to get Aaron Judge for as cheap as possible. That's his job. Aaron Judge and his agent's job is to get as much as possible. Cashman, the Yankees' job is to pay as little as possible and then hope that you can find that thing. The rule for any good negotiation is nobody walks away completely happy. Because it wasn't a good negotiation. Like, if you and I start negotiating about 2023 and I say I want $1 million or I'm not working here, and you go, okay, here's $1 million. You suck. Because I got everything I wanted and you got all you did get me, which is great. But like, you got to come back with, yeah, we think you're more of like a $50,000 guy. You know what I mean? Like, and then I got to go, well, let's split the difference. How about $575? You know, nobody's going to walk away completely happy. That's what negotiations is. Randy Levine's handling of Dellin Betances, where across the table from him, he said, "You're not really a closer. You're not even an 8th inning guy. You're like a 7th inning guy." That broke him. That was wrong. That was too far. But this is, listen, do I like the way a Jeter was handled? No, but at the same time, Jeter finished his career in pinstripes the way he was supposed to. This is what Cashman's job is.
There was a part of me during the season, and maybe this is just rooting for Judge, because I even though I'm not a Yankee fan, I like Judge. I think he's a fun athlete to root for. There was a part of me that thought, how much will the relationship of Judge and Cashman matter when it comes to this? And you had a great take on that, where it doesn't matter if they like each other. This is the business part of it. This is the boss of the organization of the Yankees, not the Steinbrenner, but we're talking about the guy who makes the decisions, making a baseball decision. Now, here's maybe what curveball is getting at, what Yankee fans to think about now. Honestly, because of what you said, the deal is done.
So they lowballed him and ended up paying for it literally. We paid the exact amount he was offered somewhere else, and he stayed.
Do you think it matters if Cashman and Judge like each other for the rest of their time for the Yankees? Like, if I find out in June, hey, Aaron Judge is pissed at Brian Cashman for how it all went down. You know what we are at this point if you're a Yankee fan? Shrugging your shoulders. I don't care.
Right.
He's under contract. He's playing well. I don't care if Cashman and Judge don't speak to each other for the next 8 years. It's just kind of like, the Last Dance with Jordan, right? That's a little different when Krause and Jordan and Pippen and Jackson and all that stuff didn't get along, because then, again, a movie, documentary, it felt far more personal of, hey, I don't get enough credit, Jerry Krause, for the dynasty that is the Bulls. And those guys, we saw the 30 for 30. It doesn't matter. Like, unless Aaron Judge is leaving, which happened for the late 90s Bulls, he's here. And who cares if they don't talk for the next 8 years? I also, one more for Curveball Slayers. He's on fire right now. I want to give this one. I do like, finally, sports talk that doesn't ask how to clean my nose.
But the Navage is very like the.
Make sure you keep following our stuff, Curveball Sliders, of more of this content in 2023 on different platforms.
Here's my problem with your thing, like this Judge like Cashman, the Cashman. Okay, you're right. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I've worked for a lot of bosses that we did not like each other, but we liked what we could do for each other. Like, that's happened to me many times in my career. I've also been very blessed to have some very good bosses, but when Judge is cashing $40 million a year, I'm assuming he's going to be all right. I don't think he's going to be like, fuck that Cashman guy. How dare he? I could be making 43. Like, or Cashman could have said and offered me another $5 million a year. I could have said yes to it. I could have missed out on this. Like, it all worked out the way it was supposed to work out. He's here. If he left, it's a bad negotiation. You screwed up. But again, let's remember, let's all, everybody who's on the should have paid him more from the rip. Let's just remember this in 4 or 5 years when his game starts to slide a little bit, because you're not getting 60 home runs a year. If
what?
Judge, I know.
Someone tell the New York Post, hurry! They're gonna get the article out soon.
Like if for the next 5 years, Aaron Judge is 275, 30 home runs and 100 RBIs a year, you did good. You did good. If he gives you another like lightning in a bottle kind of year like this one, where he's 50 plus home runs, this, that, and the other thing, don't get spoiled. It ain't gonna happen every year. Don't get used to it.
We can also do another and ... how he performs in the playoffs.
Right. Well, that is the one. I mean, in all sincerity, the Giants cracked the checkbook, which means you had to crack the checkbook. But the bottom line is, come October, Mr. Judge has been on a milk carton. So now that he's got this money, he's got to do it. He's got to have that. He's got to have the 2009 season that A-Rod had, where A-Rod was actually productive in the postseason and helped them win a World Series. He now has to do that at least once for this contract.
There is a chance by the time the spring and the summer rolls around that the New York Yankees are playing really good baseball, and the New York Knicks could be in the postseason. A New York spring, summer, more so spring because season starts, everything else. You and I were texting about the Knicks, this morning?
I'm in it.
How about the blue and orange? Whoa.
Dude, 6-game. Knicks are on a 6-game win streak, first of all. Knicks have won 6 straight. By the way, we're live at Mohawk Chevrolet. I got some Regal Cinema tickets to give away for Crossgate the Mall. If you want to grab them, come on in and say hello, say Merry Christmas. We'll hand you a pair. Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. We don't care. Whatever you celebrate, just be cordial and happy, and we'll take.
We're in the back. Just take a right.
Yeah. Well, I took over my new desk. I might be selling cars in 23. I don't know. If I'm going to do it, it'll be right here at Mohawk Chevrolet. I can guarantee you that. So I'm looking at the Knicks and I'm like, wow, is that defense? Do they? Is there an NBA team actually playing legit defense? 6-game win streak. 2 times during the 6-game win streak, they've held the opponent under 90.
90 in
Under
2022, 2023 NBA.
Well, 4 of those games, they've held them under 100. Like they gave up 120 to the Bulls. They won 125 to 120. But like and then they had the I think they had a little overtime game. You beat the Cavs like 92 to 81 or some nonsense. I don't even know. I don't know what I'm watching, but I love it. I thought Ewing and Oakley were out there throwing elbows. Like I was like, let's go.
Everything that's happened for the Knicks, and Knick fan is probably head spinning. Our guy Jamal probably doesn't know how to handle himself right now.
I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him. I saw he put a picture up and he looks miserable in the picture. I was gonna like the only reason I didn't say anything to it is I hate all the people. Every time I put a picture, I'm like, why aren't you smiling? And I'm like, you know what? Women are right. We're assholes when we ask that question. It's very annoying. But like, I want to be like, dude, Knicks are winning. The hell's the matter with you? Constipated? You all right, brother?
It's been, I don't even know how long, 15 plus years of these statements I'm going to say out loud that actually are happening for the Knicks. You drafted RJ Barrett. You got it right. Like with all that hype around that draft with Ja Morant and Zion, RJ Barrett's really good. You went out in the offseason and brought in a big-time free agent that's playing great in Jalen Brunson. So the Jalen Brunson signing worked. RJ Barrett's better. You got a steal in the draft and quickly. And Cam Reddish, who you traded for, who has been criticized for how he didn't play as well as Barrett and Zion at Duke, which is now thinking make a bizarre criticism. His time at the Hawks, he got picked high, but again, he wasn't the best option for the Hawks. And you had guys like Trae Young and Herter and others. Is gotten better. So young players for the Knicks contributing, helping, free agents who you signed, playing up to their potential. In fact, that's like 5 things I said, but none of those 5 things have clicked for the Knicks. Like not even one over the last 15 years.
Dude, and Jalen Brunson has been a big difference because he's made Randall better. He's a true point. He's a true star. He's been great. Looked like he got hurt, but he's all right. Like, dude, it's actually fun to watch the Knicks, which has been important because the Raiders suck. I got to wait for Michigan for the playoffs and hope that they keep their the steamroller going. But like this Knicks team is fun to watch, and it's kind of like, I'll be old man, get off my lawn. I'll do it. I'm not scared. I love defense. I love that they're keeping scores a little lower because nobody does it. It's almost like when you see these big schools play Army for the first time, and it's like they're just not used to it. Like triple wing. Like what the F is that?
We can't do this in practice, right?
Is that the plane we're using to get there? Like what are we talking? What is that thing? And then you play a Knicks team where everybody else is just popping threes, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna pop threes, but we're gonna D up. We're gonna put a hand in your face. You're not getting clean shots. That's the goal. And Tibbs is out there fighting with refs while they're doing interviews and stuff. Oh, it's phenomenal. I love Tibbs is my favorite. He is the angriest curmudgeon there is, and he's our angry curmudgeon. It's like when you like bring somebody to meet your grandfather, and like, wow, your granddad's a dick. Hey, he is. He's my grandpa. It's just fun to watch.
I feel like I do this with the Knicks more than any other New York team. Look towards the next 2 to 3 months, like the Yankees and Mets and all those, like we kind of have an idea from the start of the season of where they're going to go. That's just how baseball's been. But you look at the Knicks, okay, the East, Boston's really good. You can put them as the favorite potentially in the championship. So if you get them in the playoffs, it's going to be hard for any team in the NBA to catch Boston. Milwaukee has a superstar in Giannis. Cleveland went out and got Donovan Mitchell. Brooklyn wins on a buzzer beater last night with Kyrie and Durant, and Philly's got Embiid. Now I bring up those teams ahead of them because it's hard to make an argument that Knicks are better than them. However, it goes back to what this graphic says on our side and what you and I were just talking about with defense. If you're telling me you don't have a player on those types of levels of those teams we just listed, however, you get one in the postseason and you're playing good defense, maybe the officials swallow the whistle, oh, they're playing aggressive. It's the postseason. We're not going to call the fouls we did in the regular. I'll take that. Hey, we don't have as many superstars that we just listed off. I know Cleveland's probably the interesting one there. If you get Cleveland in the opening round into 3-6, that's pretty good. Yeah. And you just hope that maybe aggressive play benefits you. You see this, another cross-sport comparison here for the Knicks. You see that a lot in March Madness, where you get a team that, especially the underdog, who you would think might not get the whistle as much, but they're letting them play a little bit.
Right.
It's a really good setup all of a sudden if New York can sit at that 6 seed and avoid that weird 7-10 play-in reseeding stuff, which is still strange that COVID kept that around.
Well, because they like it. Keeps more markets involved. It makes it harder to tank, or more obvious when you do. But I know you don't like change because you're an old curmudgeon. It's weird. I'm the old one, but you're old. So Knicks are making basketball fun for me, and again, I'm not putting them above Boston or anything like that, but I'm a little more excited to see the Knicks play Boston now, because last year you go into that game and you're like, I think we're gonna give them a fight. And you're like, oh, I'm delusional. Okay, that's right. Okay, all right. Fans short for fanatic. I'm not supposed to make sense. Good deal. Now it's like, hey, because you play defense, hey, because of these things, you can give these other teams fights. Like teams aren't looking at trips to Madison Square Garden going, oh, it's just gonna be nice to play at the Garden. Teams are looking at trips to Madison. Cool, the Garden's cool, but hey, we got to be ready because they're going to D us up and they're going to come for us. And if Randall keeps continuing to be engaged, because that's what you saw 2 years ago, Julius Randle was engaged. He wasn't trying to be the point forward. He was playing his role. But last year he kind of regressed into that I'm going to do everything role. This year with Brunson, he's like, all right, hey, you run the floor. I'm here. Let's go. And it's going to be good. You need RJ Barrett to really kind of kick it in the ass.
Another level. Slowly he's getting better,
but consistent. He's still. There's moments you see him on the court and you're like, okay, that dude's still kind of special. And then there's moments you see him on the court and you go, that dude, what happened to him? Oh, that's right. He doesn't know whether he's left or right-handed. You know what I mean?
That's right.
That's a real story, by the way. Look that one up. He legitimately is not sure whether he's left or right-handed on the basketball court. So. That's it. Tell me the Knicks without telling me the Knicks. We're going to use the 3rd overall pick on a guy who doesn't know whether he's left or right-handed. Awesome. There you go.
We're here at Mohawk Chevrolet. Don't forget Mohawk Chevrolet, the Mohawk family. Mohawk Honda have been proud sponsors with us here throughout 2022. We hope that if you find some time here in this crazy holiday season to stop in and find out what the great crews can do for you in 2023. A new ride can be in your driveway upcoming. The best way to start off the year.
One of my neighbors will be looking for one.
You know what? Mohawk Honda, Mohawk Chevrolet. We love these people where they go out of their way and please you. Let's get to that story because I know we're going to talk about bowl games and more football, but I saw this picture you sent me and I got a lot of questions.
So I this morning getting ready to come up here, and it turns out my Ring camera went off. It didn't work last night. The front door one. So I've got 360 on my house. I can see you come. I'm not saying I'm paranoid. But I'm saying if you walk into my house unwanted, you should be. So the one at my front door didn't work last night for some reason. So I missed whoever drove up on my steps and took out my railings, my hand railings. Steel in the concrete hand railings, both of them bent over. The bars are up in my fence. Somebody must have slid down a hill. And I have the reflectable posts around to keep the plow from going up on my driveway, on my lawn. They're fine. So whoever just drove right over those, they didn't go anywhere, went up on the thing, threw everything everywhere. I don't know how they got off the posts because they're not flat. They're still up a little bit. So I don't know if they just gunned it and kept going or what. But I want to drive my neighborhood and see if I can find because the Mohawk Collision Center is going to be their friend. I can tell you that right now.
I've got some questions here. Okay, so you've got the 360. Yep. You see the damage has been done.
Right.
We don't have the vehicle. We don't have the live footage.
That camera wasn't working for some reason.
That makes me seem like they took it out. You see that in all the movies. I'm about to commit a crime and I take out the camera.
It's
hacked it. All of a sudden, where's that missing footage? What?
Jason Statham is he's got a blinker thing. Men in Black. I got the blinker thing on the camera. Take it out. Yeah, no, I don't know. And so I called my neighbor. He's gonna look at his and see if he can see who it was. I don't even I'm not even super mad about the railings. It sucks because I'm going to have to probably cut them out and redo the steps. It's not going to be easy, but I'm not going to do it. Let's be honest. My friends or Tech East is going to do it. It's not going to be me. But the fact that you don't even say anything kind of pisses me off. And you're in way worse shape than I am. It's going to be way more expensive to fix whatever you did to your vehicle because the only other thing that I thought of is it could have been maybe one of the earlier plows came through and lost it a little bit and clipped it. But I looked and the pictures you can see the tracks on the picture. They were all the way up the hill. And it's my front lawn is a hill. So I don't know if they just lost it, if they were loaded, whatever it was. But I'll be able to probably sort you out which one you were. I'm guaranteeing you only got like one headlight. You're jacked up pretty good, and your car probably smells like poop because you definitely crapped yourself on that one. There's no doubt.
The theory at the end of that person, whoever did that, wakes up and they're wondering, like, how did this happen? You know, like when you come, let's say
we've all been there. I mean,
when you go to Mohawk Chevrolet, at least I had excuses. Right. I was attacked by a shopping cart. I saw a huge snowbank. I have reasons.
There's a bear.
Yeah, I have reasons.
But you that level of damage, like you have little dings and scrapes. This is like this whoever's vehicle this is. Pardon my French. I'm gonna use the technical term. It's fucked.
And they got to figure it out.
And what happened away.
Exactly.
And there's
right.
Not only they drive away. Unless there's something under the snow that I can't see yet, when the snow melts, I'll see it. They must have picked up the pieces because there's got to be pieces. Like there has to be pieces like that came off the vehicle at that point. There's got to be. I can't wait to figure it all out. I just like I said, I'm gonna drive around the neighborhood and be like, as you see some of these cars all jacked up, and be like, "Hey, how you doing?"
At the Jeff Levack on Twitter.
Yeah, I'll tweet the pics out.
I mean, here's what I would have said. If you see someone in the capital region who could be a potential suspect, DM you or Levack, I have a suspect.
I like your I don't commenting your theories right now on who it could have been and what it could have been.
Yeah. You'll be willing to do this. This will be an effort. Sherlock Holmes like a holiday mystery. If you need something to distract yourself from the in-laws visiting whoever it might be, you could do that. Another way to distract yourself from in-laws or family or however you want to get out is the bowl season.
Weed.
Weed is another one too. Edibles, that's right. Look, there's a lot of good bowl games. We did our bowl pick'em on our Christmas show. If you missed that audio, that is available now on our audio side and YouTube side. Welcome to 2022, guys. Here's the thing about the bowl games, though. You and I have done this topic probably forever in the history of the show about the importance of bowl games and people opting in and opting out. The NCAA ruled this week that the red shirt rule, which means if you play in 4 or less games, you get another year of eligibility, is now for a 1-year blanket. It's weird they're doing it now. You can play in the bowl game and not lose eligibility. So they kind of have changed the rule of the bowl game that now you can play in that and not lose your red shirt year. It feels like that's the best effort. But go ahead.
Curveball Slider is just destroying you.
What happened? Oh no.
I'm surprised Goz likes Tibbs so much. I thought he hated old people. Is it because he doesn't need a walker yet?
Here's my thing with Tibbs.
And then he also blames your child for taking out my steps. Are we confident it wasn't Rex? His stroller has some suspicious dents. No, because Rex hates me.
Oh,
Rex to the like. Here's the thing: Goz's child hates me. Jordan hugged me the other day while holding Rex, and he could have won a limbo competition with the way that he contorted his spine to get as far away from me. So like he wouldn't go anywhere near my house. That's the only reason I think Rex is safe on this one. The new child that isn't born yet.
As to the Tibbs thing, so I had his number. I had his cell phone. Tom Thibodeau, aka Thibodeau, aka Tibbs, aka Thibs.
Tibby.
So I had his number, and I've texted him multiple times in the history of the last 5 years to come on the show. Now, I guess
are we convinced he uses text?
There you go. A few things here. 1, there's a chance he doesn't use text. 2, when I texted him, he was not with the Knicks. He was an employee of ESPN. So there are some protocols of, hey, you should go through this person or that person. Coaches can be a little different. So if someone criticizes me, it says, guys, you should have went through ESPN through that, or you should have went through the Knicks through that.
Right.
You're not wrong. But I had his cell phone, and coaches can be a little different because coaches sometimes really like to talk. He never got back to me. Not even a like, hey, sorry, can't do this, or hey, talk to so-and-so, or blah, blah.
Who the fuck is this?
He also didn't have the read or red or whatever it is underneath the text or the green.
Are you
or
sure
the
it was his number?
You know, now telling the story out loud, I don't feel as confident it might have been his number. But the source that gave me those numbers, there were multiple numbers I was given. All the other ones hit. So maybe there's a little bitterness of Tibbs, Fibs that he never came on the show.
Give me the number. Let me tell you. Maybe he's one of the ones that only answers me.
He is a good coach. I'll give him that. He is also old.
It's interesting too because like even when the Knicks kind of regressed last season and had that like down patch where they looked really bad, you didn't see as many people calling for his head as you normally do. Like Knicks fans, like it doesn't take much. I'm assuming all fans, but like I can only speak for my people, the Knicks fans. Like if a coach like jaywalks, like get rid of him. We need a new one.
Do you think it has something to do with Derrick Rose? And I say that because Tibbs has been in some teams with egos, and because of the Jimmy Butler. You know what I'm talking about? Jimmy Butler's the answer. Minnesota, Chicago. Like the clashing of Butler between those two feels like he cost him jobs in two different cities.
Right.
But because Derrick Rose loves him so much, and Derrick Rose is a veteran on that team, and he's so much older than everybody else, that maybe that plays a bigger factor in the safety of him as the head coach.
I may be in the organization, but I'm saying like the fan base. Like I didn't see as many of the, like you'll see like people will text that stuff and tweet it out all the time just because like they just don't know what they're doing. But I didn't see as much of it with him even during the downturn. Where like maybe because he was so successful in year one, maybe Knicks fan is finally learning like, hey, like it doesn't matter how good the chef is. If you're buying everything at a gas station, the meal ain't gonna be that great, So he's with what he's had, he's been phenomenal, and like with the way they're playing right now, if they can maintain this, you think trade deadline, you might get some disgruntled stars who go, I want to go to the Knicks. Yeah, trade me over to the Knicks. Let's go. Or free agency, like, hey, I want to be a Knick. Where you haven't had that, since Melo screwed the team up. So
I think my headphones just went out there. Since Melo, and then we're gonna cut that on the post edit
on the rebroadcast.
Yeah, on the rebroadcast. Oh, we were mentioning bowl games, and I was gonna say that it's a weird time in history because the expanded playoff is on the way, so that's gonna jump to 12, and then bowl games feels like have come to a pause in the actual expansion of bowl games. We had a nice run there where there were tons of bowl games getting added every year, and then COVID in 2020 shut a lot down. And then because there was a COVID Omicron outbreak in 2021, a lot of bowl games got shut down. It's this weird history of bowl games where you and I have gone through this of like, are they less meaningful than ever before? And I think that's an easy yes. I just don't know what's going to happen. Like, are they more meaningful now than they'll be in the next 2 years? Are you still going to watch them? Does sports wagering have a huge impact on what this is? The Barstool people with how they're doing it, non-traditional media. It's harder than ever, I think, for me to figure out 2022's bowl importance.
Was I hanging out at Muddy's yesterday, and did I ask for them to be put on television? Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I did. Did I wager on both games? Yes. Did Eddie at Muddy's mock me for wagering on Miami, Ohio versus UAB? Yes, he did. All these things happened. Was I pissed off that I bet the over for Troy versus UTSA and they didn't even get close? They didn't even score like in the first quarter? Yes, all those things are true.
Got to take the under. Troy's defense, too good.
All those things are true. To the point where, like, it was Eddie at Muddy mocking me going, so wait, Albany's playing in that one and then Troy's playing. Is this high school football? Like, what is it? Like, yeah, all those things happened yesterday. Am I a little ticked off at you that you scheduled us to be at one of my favorite places, Mohawk Chevrolet, while Cincinnati's playing Louisville in a 14-7 at this current moment, Louisville with the lead? Yeah, a little ticked off with you. Yeah.
Hey, I didn't know who was playing quarterback for Louisville or who was coaching Cincinnati. I thought that was a good call there. I'll take that. I'll take that beat.
And don't forget, there's NFL action today too.
Yes.
So I mean,
let's talk about it. Let's talk about the NFL action on the way, especially the New York teams. But before we do that, let's talk about Lily and David Fine Jewelers this holiday season, this weekend in particular. I know who you are, and I'm not judging you. I'm not looking right into the camera saying, "Have you done any Christmas shopping yet?"
Have you?
Have you waited till this weekend to get it done? Some people do this every single year. If you're scrambling, go to Route 50, the shops of Wilton. Lily and David Fine Jewelers. Alyssa will help you. The whole crew in there, Tammy, David, everybody will help you find exactly what she is looking for. Girlfriend, fiance, wife, walk in and say, Levack and Goz talk about you guys all the time. Can you please help me find something? I'm scrambling, and they will help you. I know from experience, there's the wedding band, my wife's wonderful engagement ring, and so many great people over 2022 have stopped in and made sure that great gift was under the Christmas tree and all the other great events, anniversaries, birthdays, holidays, and more. Lily and David Fine Jewelers help you.
I'm gonna help out. I'm gonna help out right now. Some of you have bought a gift for your wife, girlfriend, fiance, that is going to put you in a position where you're going to have to go to Lily and David after the holiday to make up for it. No matter how good your intentions were, buying your female a gym membership is going to be perceived as you calling her fat. Just go buy the ring now. Go buy the jewelry now. Put it with the gym membership or just add the gym membership in later. Don't even tell her about it today. Hey, honey, I thought we could spend time together at the gym later, not for Christmas. Okay. It's not going to work. Or hey, sweetie, I bought you pots and pans so you can cook for me. Your heart was in the right place. Your brain is broken. Just go to Lily and David now. Save yourself the trouble. I'm here to help.
Hello to Lissa, David, everybody over there. Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
And if you're buying me anything, watches or cars, that's really all I need. Or just Venmo me at Jeff-Levack. I'll just take the money. Thank you.
Did you see social media?
I'll buy my own watch at Lily and David.
Sorry, those pictures are awesome of those watches.
Yeah.
Social media was ablaze this week for the non-New Yorkers who were giving the takes of, shouldn't Buffalo just build an indoor stadium? Shouldn't Buffalo just have a roof?
No.
This weather stuff's really annoying, and a lot of it's coming from Miami. The Dolphin-Bill rivalry, and our guy Sal Capaccio talked about this with us years ago, that it is hot. It is a fierce rivalry that Chris Whittingham and others down in Miami were starting this about the Bills. Oh, God. What do you make of the weather playing an issue?
I talked to my neighbor today about the accident. He must feel bad because he's now snow blowing my driveway because he didn't have the camera angle. He's the nicest guy on the freaking. I have the nicest neighbor on the planet. I'm sorry. Yeah, dude,
weather playing a factor for this huge game between the Dolphins and the Bills.
I do find it interesting that you're the Bills and you don't have a running game. Like how? Like if I'm the Bills, I might think about indoor because I have not built a real running game. like you would think, because honestly, if you look at today's game and the way it's set up, the Bills' defense and Josh Allen's ability to run the football, they do really, really help the Bills in a bad weather situation. But realistically speaking, isn't Miami built better with more running backs and more of a running game that, for today's game? You would think that they're actually personnel. Like if you took the logos off the helmets and you just read the personnel, this team has like more linebackers, has better running backs. It's probably this team that's going to be Miami. Where like then you look over at you're missing Von Miller. You haven't established a real solid, a little bit better than they've been, but still not really where you'd like them to be. Josh Allen's still your biggest threat in the running game. Like if I'm a Bills fan, I should see this snow and go, y'all screwed. Y'all messed up because now you're coming into town and Thurman Thomas about to run the ball 30 times. Like that's like it's weird how the Bills are built.
Yeah, I guess you're supposed to play to your team's advantage with this stuff. Like Miami, for all the people that were yelling about Buffalo snow, Miami plays in like 95 to 100 degree heat. That should be their advantage. We go back to the late 90s again with the greatest show on turf. People were believing that because the Rams played indoors, they could move faster with Falk and Holt and Bruce and Warner and everybody. They played to their advantage. This is a very dumb coach cliche, but sometimes I think people, especially on social media, need to be reminded of this. They know it's snowing for both teams, right? Mm-hmm. Like the whole field is covered in snow. For whatever reason, sometimes we think only like half the field is covered. Like, oh, this is such a disadvantage for, and as you said, not really for the Dolphins.
It will be. I think the Dolphins are going to get hosed to it. I think I'm not like, I think the Bills are the more physical team, even though they don't look like it sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I see Josh Allen just mugging people today. I think he scares the hell out of me. One helmet to the knee and it's all over for that team. But like, this is the kind of game. I bet you he is hyped to run the ball today.
There was a thought about first instincts on this game when I saw how big the snow was. I'm like, well, Josh Allen will throw better in the snow than Tua just because we've seen Josh Allen do it.
Right. He can throw through a gale force wind.
And pre-week kickoff here, Tua had come out with a quote that had said, hey, you guys know it snowed in Alabama, right? I'm like, okay. I guess my concerns of Tua is not so much about the snow. My concerns about Tua is that he was like 3 for 18 against San Francisco. It could snow, sleet, hail. You got to just be better, whatever is out there for him.
Let's be a little real about that too. Like, remember we were in Atlanta and it snowed and people freaked out and it was like, it was like a gauze penis worth of snow. It was so little. It was less than an inch. It was.
Hang on.
You're wrong one. That's the phone.
Damn it. Come on.
Nope, wrong one. Over and over.
All right, it's over. The joke.
Yeah.
All
right. It doesn't matter how big it is. You can't use it. It's just like Alabama's definition of snow and Buffalo's definition of snow are very different things. Like if the snow that we had yesterday, that was a minuscule amount of what we were predicted to get, would shut down the South for a month. If Bama got what we had the last day, they wouldn't know what to do themselves. We're like, oh, That's nothing, except for whoever ran over my steps. They're still having a bad day, way worse than me. But no, it's saying that like, oh, it snowed in Alabama. It did it. Because like
pretty sure
Buffalo snow is a little different than what. Because you were one of your, was it Hammer who tweeted out the snow pictures from 7:00 this morning in Buffalo?
Yeah.
Like, I guarantee you, Tua looked outside of his hotel this morning and went, "Oh, this is different. Oh, this is not what I was speaking of." I'm gonna put on a good face and tell everybody that's cool. And I'm glad that McDaniels is going to run around in his like, I wish it was colder shirt. But this is not, I am not okay with this. This is not what I want.
So a little unpredictability when it comes to how Tua and the Bills and the Dolphins and how that AFC East matchup is going to go. We will give our pick in a little bit, but before we get there.
Yeah, we do have to hurry up because it's almost game time.
It is almost game time. Oh my God, look at that clock moving out. We got to give a little response to the story involving the Jets.
Yeah.
And Zach Wilson and what's going on and all that stuff. The Jets have decided to make a move because Mike White is not getting cleared. I saw the reports going out that Mike White had gone to 10 doctors. I'm like, maybe stop after 5. Like, who is that 7th doctor on the list of this guy's going to clear me?
All of a sudden he's hitting like strip malls. Like the doctor looks like the doctor from the old Cannonball Run movies. He's got like the wobbly eyes. He's got a needle ready to go. You're fine. You can play. Okay. Doc said I'm good.
He signed it. There's a signature. Say he's not playing.
Doc McStuffins, or whatever the hell it is, just said I'm good to go. I can play.
Is this a Tyrod Taylor situation of the Chargers a few years ago where he was supposed to be the starter, then maybe was going to be the guy, then he gets injured in a weird way involving, maybe that's the doctor that cleared him, now thinking about it out loud. What can it mean for the future of Zach Wilson in New York? Maybe it's even more important than games in his career.
It's weird because I think with the way everything has gone, normally I would say that this is now Mike White's team for the rest of this season. But I do believe that this is Zach Wilson's last chance. If Zach Wilson goes out there and at least plays well, doesn't piss off his team, can just play well enough to win your teammates back over where they don't hate your guts anymore, he could legitimately get his job back. But if he goes out there and he's still the spoiled brat that he's been, and his team hates him and he's overthrowing people and all those things, this will be it for him.
It's weird because it feels like that's all that should matter is how he performs on the field against the Lions. Because that stuff you're talking about behind the scenes of being a leader, being the person who's supposed to be a 24-year-old who leads a group of men, it's not always built in everybody's characteristics. And it's not as if it's going to feel authentic if 2 weeks later he's acting like that. They were there, right, the teammates in August and September and October when he wasn't acting like that. So maybe the best way to get respect from your teammates and say, you know what, that might not be your style, but you've improved your play on the field. And if you're going to play this well, you're going to be the guy who helps us win. That's got to be the only answer. He has to play well. This was before that, like it was his most important start of his career. Now it's the most important start of his career. Did we steal someone's desk?
No, she's listening. I think you're putting your fantasy lineup together. Is that what you said? Yeah, she's putting her fantasy lineup together. So Goz is allegedly better at that than I am, even though I usually beat him. So Levack and Goz live at Mohawk Chevrolet. Great people here as always. Great. Like the Mohawk family is a special group. Like we all get along with everybody. But Zach Wilson, before you switch over from Zach Wilson, you see there's a show that I feel like he should be hosting. MILF Manor. Have you seen this?
I've seen the articles about MILF Manor.
If you haven't, and we were talking about this in the office yesterday over at Tech East Fire and Water Restoration and the Empire, and I have to watch this. It's like next month it comes out. So 8 MILFs in a house with 8 like nut job like college guys basically who all really want a MILF in their life. And then you find out the big twist. The MILFs are the mothers of the guys.
No.
Allegedly, none of them know this. So there's like the big reveal, and they show it in the preview. If you watch the preview, so like pull the screen up, and you just see like the MILF's faces going to like turn mean, like you son of a bitch. Can you imagine the violence of that? Because there's going to be a point where someone's going to bang their roommate's mom. It's going to happen during the show. It's going to happen.
I was like neutral pass until that last selling point you just gave me. The fact that it is the moms of the other guys in the house.
Yes.
This has Jersey Shore, Survivor, all-time reality show, Ultimate Fighter.
They're going to fight. Oh. There's going to be violence.
The potential of this now with that last piece is so. Did we get that? What platform is it on? Did we get that?
I think it's TLC.
TLC is going to shatter some records with that. Good for them.
I just like, first of all, like the big debate is how could you not know? Like, hey mom, I'm going on some show. Hey, oh no, that's weird. I'm going on a show too. Like, but then you think about this group, and you got to believe that if these MILFs are willing to go away for however long this, let's say it's a month to shoot the show, go away for a month just to do a little Stella Got Her Groove Back. They're probably not communicating very well with the rest of their family anyway. And I gotta be like, if my mother, my dearly departed mother, was still alive, I can't picture myself going, Ma, you're never gonna believe this. I got a chance to be on a TV show where I might get to bang old ladies. This is great. Like, so I do believe that there's a chance that maybe they didn't communicate these stories to each other.
I can only pray and imagine that's how it played out. And these promos are going to start running and they're like looking forward to it. Like, whoa, our show. Mom?
Right,
Mom?
right.
Why are you? No.
Like, imagine as the things come up and you're seeing more and more of the woman. You're just like, yeah, look at that. Oh, crap.
MILF Manor. I'm ready for it. I'm going to do some recaps here in 2023 on the show.
I just want to start pitching reality shows. Like, just like what won't people make? Like Blind Love, MILF Manor, Love at First Sight, all these things. Like there's Love on the Spectrum. Like it's so many shows that I always think of the Shane Gillis bit about the Special Olympics. He's like, I love the Special Olympics. I coached. I love it. Athletes are amazing. It's a wild idea. He goes, if you were like sitting with one of your buddies and they came up with the idea of like, hey, let's take people with special needs and compete them. Like you tell them, don't say that in front of people. He goes like, so like, whole thing. So like, somebody sat down in a boardroom and went, all right, here's what we're going to do, right? MILFs. People love MILFs. I see the porn search all the time. And hard bodies put them together in the house. People are like, good, but it needs one more thing. What if they're related? Bingo! By the way, everybody, TLC, you know what the F in MILF stands for, right?
You're going to show it. Oh, little people, they've advanced from TLC. Popping pimples, they've advanced from that. Hopefully I'm not confusing my channels here.
Yeah. Dude, how great. Dr. Pimple Popper appears on the show that week. And you know damn well, like if for some reason, let's say either side, the MILFs or the guys, are actually better people than we realize they are, and they all sit down and go, we're not going to hook up with anybody because it's disrespectful to the rest of you. The producers of that show have already figured that out. All right, fine. Let's fly their sisters in. Like, you know, like something. There's going to be right. They're gonna like. There's a way, or they've already like one of the guys is a plant where they paid him extra and it's like, dude, you're gonna hook up with somebody's mom. You're gonna do it right now. You're gonna lose your money.
We got to get those weird people from My Strange Obsession onto the show. They'll be eating carpets again or doing whatever they're doing, and that hoarders. I think I'm mixing them all up now. Isn't that on the show?
I mean, probably will be on MILF Hunter. I don't know if carpets or hardwood flooring. I would assume hardwood flooring. All right, you ready to do your
yes?
Levack and Goz live from Mohawk Chevrolet. Last live show of the year for some reason.
Where's that button? Damn it! It's too late. Let's get into the wagers here. As you see our records up on the screen, Levack still remains over 500. He went 6-6 last week, but more importantly, 3-1 on his locks. 3-1 record. Me, 4-8, and a big fat 0-4 with my locks, and they were bad. There were some bad picks last week out of me. All right, we got.
I actually thought I screwed up. I thought I actually pushed one of them, but yeah, 3-1. That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Saturday action today. 3 Saturday games. What an awesome idea for the NFL, by the way, to stack this. And don't forget, next week, a lot of Saturday action as well because of Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So just note that as well. Colts, Vikings. Are we going
to pick somehow, even though we don't have the show scheduled?
Yeah, we'll figure something out. We'll figure it. I might put it on GodzllaMedia.com. Colts, Vikings, 3.5-point favorite. The Vikings are at home, over under 47 in this one.
Colts, Vikings. This is a weird one because the Colts are trash, but everybody keeps telling me that the Vikings are a fraud. I got to take the Vikings here. They're the more talented team. They're the better team. Even though I do believe that Saturday will have his team playing well, or at least playing for him. I don't know what well, but I'll take the Vikings on this one. But I like the over more than I like the sides.
I like the Vikings in this one at -3.5, and I'm thinking about. I'm going to put a little pin on that. You've heard that I fixed that could potentially come back to be a lock because of my take on Jeff Saturday. You just talked about him too. I think it happened for all of us who follow the NFL. Jeff Saturday won that one game against your Raiders, and we all think he's the greatest coach ever.
I never said that.
You know, well, here, he won one game. His expectations were so low. We kind of have given him a break since then. Maybe he's not good at this. I will take the Vikings because Saturday really hasn't proved anything yet as a coach. Ravens, Browns, Cleveland at home, 3-point favorite, over under 39.
Cleveland being a favorite in this game is interesting to me, but I'm gonna take Cleveland on this one. I think Rub and Tuck Watson is gonna get his game together. I think he'll straighten it out, if you will. I think he's gonna play better today. So give me the Browns.
I went with the Browns. I thought about going with the Browns last week against the Bengals. I stayed away. It worked out well.
That was my loss. Loss.
For the Ravens, as you pointed out in the Ravens game last week against the Steelers, that was my preseason pick for the Super Bowl. But this doesn't feel right either. They beat Pittsburgh outright. It feels like a similar game with Pittsburgh in this one too. I'm taking Baltimore. I'm going to take Baltimore. I'm taking Baltimore because they're a better team, and Cleveland hasn't shown me reasons this season, like a few other NFL teams, why I should pick them. And Watson has not played as well as I thought he could have.
He was
after waiting 2 years. Better. That's exactly right.
I think he's going to be good.
We're going to pass on the Dolphins Bills games for now. We're going to save our NFL picks for New York teams for later in this coming up.
Fine.
Let's move more to the 1 o'clock window. I got the Eagles and I got the Bears in a 1 o'clock matchup at Soldier Field. Eagles, 8-point favorites, over under 48.5.
I'm gonna take the Bears with the points. Don't love it, but I think that Eagles are due for a subpar game, a little bit of letdown after just steamrolling the Giants. And Justin Fields is a heck of a player. Actually, he's a playmaker. He's got a little Josh Allen to him, I feel like. So I'll take the Bears with the points.
Are the Bears the best 3-10 team ever? Preseason, no. I thought Chicago would be the worst team in the NFL. And it feels like because of Justin Fields' stats in the fantasy football world and David Montgomery, that maybe they're a lot better than 3-10. Bill Parcells, you are what your record says you are. I'm not taking a team at 3-10 against the best team in the NFL who's 12-1. I will take Philadelphia. Talent, all that other stuff plays a factor in this one. Falcons, Saints, a battle of NFC South teams. Over-under is 43.5. It's the Saints favored inside the Superdome at 4 points. They're favored at in this game.
I'll take the Saints. Getting a rookie quarterback, getting a Falcons team that I can see what they're trying to do. They're just not getting it done. So give me the Saints. That defense.
Ooh, yeah, like Desmond Ridder got a lot of hype coming out of Cincinnati because he led the Bearcats to the college football playoff. An older quarterback, and I almost have to put that in parentheses because of the world of COVID that's coming with the Stenson Bennett's and Hendon Hookers of the world that are on the way. That's not a lot of faith in Ridder taking over for Atlanta. For the Falcons still in the mix for the NFC South. Carolina, I got to take Atlanta. I've watched New Orleans. Is Taysom Hill going to get more touches? I love Taysom Hill. I'm taking Atlanta. Because that seems like a lot of disrespect for the Falcons.
I love the amount of disagreeing we've got because your record sucks.
Steelers, Panthers. Over under 37.5. Carolina, 3-point favorite at home.
I'm going to lock in the Panthers.
No!
I'm locking in the Panthers. What? What?
Go ahead.
Are you locking in the Panthers?
Yes.
Wilkes is, the Wilkes story is great for me because while the Cardinals are like falling apart, the Panthers are playing hard. They're playing tough football. They're getting things done. I think they go out there. I think they start to win for their coach. We've heard he has no shot in hell at getting this job, but I think he knows he's getting a job at some point. And maybe it is this job. Maybe he can win enough games to become the Panthers head coach. Lock in the Panthers, laying 3 for me.
I love Carolina in this one. It's one of these Saturday morning changes. Earlier in the week, I was like, maybe not. Why Carolina? But it kind of goes back to that point I had about the Falcons and the Saints with the Buccaneers playing so poorly. Carolina has found something with Steve Wilkes. Sam Darnold, okay. Like we mentioned, Watson, he's getting better every week. He's not blowing the world up. I know his receivers didn't have over 50 yards in their most recent win. Fine. Like if you're finding ways to win games and Pittsburgh is battling at quarterback of who's going to get there, their offense hasn't been as good. This feels like Carolina. I love it. I'm locking in the Panthers as well. We are 4-3 this season when we have semi-locks. Levack is 4-2 in the lock-offs, so he's got the advantage on me on that.
I love getting my locks off.
Cowboys, Jaguars. Jags are a 4-point underdog at home. Over-under is 48 in this one.
This is a tough one for me. I like the Jags. I really like the over. Say 48?
48.
Lock in the over for me. Jags, I like them. I love the over. I think you saw enough last week from Houston on how to like kind of keep Dallas guessing. And I think the Jags are a better team than people realize. And they actually have a legit shot at still winning their division. Give me the Jags. I definitely love the over. Lock in the over of 48.
It feels like Doug Peterson's a lot better of a coach than Mike McCarthy, even though one team has 10 wins, the other one has 5 wins. It just doesn't feel right. If you followed our wagers this season for years, I get so gun shy, is the term I'll use here, so nervous about wagering on a team that I lost with the previous week. And I was so confident in Dallas last week, and they almost got beat outright.
That was awesome.
I'm taking Dallas. Because they bounce back. McCarthy figures it out. I'm taking Dallas to win by 7.
Figures it out.
I might do a classic one.
Is there exhaust running in here that I'm unaware of? McCarthy figures it out.
I'm doing one of those bets where Dallas wins by 3-10. I might do one of those bets on DraftKings. Right. Chiefs Texans. The Texans are at home in this one. They are 1-11-1. They take on the 10-3 Chiefs. The Chiefs are a 14.5 point favorite. Over under 49.5.
I think you got to take the points. I think the Texans are doing weird things. Jeff Driscoll, you can play him in a lot of fantasy leagues, either a quarterback or a tight end.
How dare you? I wanted to steal your point.
I think they're doing weird things, and I don't think Kansas City cares about the score. They just care about the W. So I'll take the point, 14.5 plus.
How about Levack sending that text this morning and me thinking, oh, I can't wait to use this on the show, as if you weren't going to use it. Like, you sent me that.
Well, because I'm in my one league where I have a choice between Jeff Driscoll or Cole Kmet. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what if Driscoll gets in and like throws a couple touchdowns somehow? Like, what if I might have to play him?
Yes, it's a fantastic find that
like
Jeff Driscoll has the tight end eligibility in only Yahoo. So if you play on ESPN Fantasy, if you play NFL, you got to double check that one. But Yahoo specifically, if you have Jeff Driscoll and your tight end stink, that is a great play. If you're in the playoffs this week, which most
would you play him over Cole Kmet?
Yes.
Okay.
I would, unless it's a PPR league. If it's like a half point PPR.
Half point. Is it? I think is this your league?
I would still play Jeff Driscoll. I still would do it.
This is your league.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, half point PPR. Yeah.
So
I would play Driscoll. And you're in the playoffs in this one. Yeah. You're playing Bryce, I believe.
Yeah, this is your league. How do you not know the rules for your league?
No, half point PPR. I wasn't sure if it was that.
Yeah.
That player or not. I don't know if you're another Yahoo league.
You'd play Driscoll over Kmet?
I would.
All right. That's what I'm doing then.
The change has been made. I got to see who your matchup is right now, because
it is Bryce.
It is Bryce, the defending champion with the belt on the line.
Yep. So, yeah. I'm not going to say anything more.
As to the game, I will take the Chiefs too. The Texans played really well last week against Dallas. Can they really do it 2 weeks in a row? That's hard for me to believe. Jeff Driscoll potentially saving championship runs with this play. I love it. I love the play for a quarterback. Taysom Hill, I said it earlier, love him as well. Cardinals, Broncos, Denver, 1.5. They are a favorite at home. The over-under 36.5 in this game.
Lock in Denver. Denver's a lock.
Ooh. Throughout the year, you've bounced back and forth on the Broncos, how much you hate them, but you've used them a few times for locks.
They're terrible, but they're not as bad as the Cardinals. You saw before Wilson got his head smacked into the turf again, they were starting to get it together on offense. That defense is phenomenal. And I think the Cardinals are just spinning the ball right now. Like, somebody already hit the handle. They just haven't gone down the drain yet. So give me a lock in Denver. What did you say? I got to lay a 1.5?
Yes.
All right. That's it. Lock it in.
I am going to take, I'm going to lock this in. Yeah. This game, I look at the over under 36.5 and think that's such a low number. And I know Denver games have been so low scoring. And just recently, when it was the Chiefs Broncos, I thought, oh, that's going to definitely be an under game. And it was far from being an under with that Russell Wilson performance, especially when they were trailing. I'm going over. I'm going to lock in the over after watching the Denver offense. Maybe they finally figured something out. As for the Kyler Murray situation, you and I have looked at Murray and wondered, maybe way too much commitment, especially to Arizona.
Is he tall enough to be a bumper car driver? Like, is he...
I know you've been following the in-season Hard Knocks. I'm curious to see how this episode plays if Arizona wins this game outright and the offense is better. Let's go with the over. I'll lock in the over in Cardinals-Broncos in this matchup. Patriots Raiders. Oof. Your Raiders, a 1-point favorite at home, over under 44.5.
Oddly enough, Raiders still mathematically alive for the postseason. They have to win out. A handful of teams have to lose at least 2 games. I believe the Patriots are on that list. The pupil versus the teacher. I'm obviously taking my Raiders. Obviously, I'm taking my Raiders here because I want to believe that they're still good in some way, shape, or form. The Patriots stayed on the left coast this week. Yeah, I'll take the Raiders. I'm probably not even betting this game. Like I probably will not even go and bet this game. I'd much rather just take my money and donate it to whatever charity drive Mohawk Chevrolet is doing this week because they're always doing something good for the community. So I don't feel great about it. Give me the Raiders.
This has this morning become my favorite play of the NFL week. Sorry, Levack, it's against your Raiders.
Son of a bitch.
Belichick versus Arizona last week. I saw it sitting there. I'm like, okay, Cliff Kingsbury stinks as a head coach, and especially at the end of the season. He gets Belichick with an extra day to prepare. I'm taking Arizona. Why? What am I doing? Sure enough, I took Arizona. I'm not making that same mistake again this week. Josh McDaniels has never shown in his career, including Denver, I know he won with Tebow, I don't need to hear that he is a legitimate, I trust him as the head coach in the NFL yet. So you're giving me against Belichick, who prides himself on coaching well against his assistants. Eric Mangini is the only one that's popping in my head that beat Belichick as a former assistant. And Mike Vrabel's in there too. But Mike Vrabel, that's a little different matchup, a little different roster.
Well, Vrabel played for him. He didn't coach.
Exactly right. I would take New England, and it is my lock. It's my favorite lock of the week now because of Belichick versus McDaniels.
One stat for you, 89, 102, and 2. That's your record-picking games. I feel good about this. 0-4 last week in your locks.
I thought you were going to say something like Belichick versus his assistants. I'm like, whoa, 200 games? That doesn't. Titans, Chargers, 3-point favorite at home out on the West Coast.
Man, I waffled on this game a bunch of times. Who's the quarterback for the Titans? Who plays wide receiver for Titans? Are you a wide receiver for the Titans? I guess I'll go with Chargers. I don't know who's left. Like, if you're the Chargers, don't you just say, all right, you 7, stop Derrick Henry. You 3, get a coffee because there's no wide receivers.
Chris Collinsworth on the Sunday night game, I thought was going to wet his pants over how well the defensive backs for the Chargers were playing. You would have thought the defensive backs, the corners and safeties, had never played football before. The way Chris Collinsworth was going berserk about how great they were playing against Miami.
So many injuries in the secondary.
Yeah.
So it's like funny, like you got all the injuries in the secondary for the Chargers, but it's even worse in the wide receiver room for the Titans.
So there it is. So you've got a lack of wide receivers and a question mark at quarterback and super aggressive defensive backs. I like the Chargers a lot in that game. Give me LA in that one. And our Monday night game, because we got the Giants on Sunday night, we will go to Monday night. That is the Rams taking on the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. Packers touchdown favorite. I should say touchdown extra point. 7-point favorite, 39.5. Again, Green Bay 7-point favorite at Lambeau.
I'll take Green Bay. Both teams are weird. Both teams are struggling more than they probably should be. But everybody's going to pile on the Rams because Baker looked good against the Raiders late. The Raiders have only played 4 quarters of football, I don't know, like 3-4 times this year. So why anyone expected them to play 4 quarters of football against Baker Mayfield is beyond me. Looked great with the deep pass and stuff like that, but the Packers won't be caught off guard the way the Raiders were.
I'm so confused about the holiday week and the flexing rules and who's allowed to go where. And it seems like this would have been an easy one to try to get the Monday flex out of that one for how bad these teams are. I will take Green Bay as well because they have Aaron Rodgers and the other team doesn't. Even though Rodgers has been playing poorly in comparison to past seasons, the Rams have given me no reason to pick them this season now. I will take Green Bay. All right, let's flip back to the New York teams. Saturday, 8:15. That is today, Saturday, likely when you're listening. The Bills are a touchdown and an extra point. I did it again. 7-point favorite, Western New York. Snow is coming down. 43.5 as the Bills take on an AFC East foe in the Miami Dolphins.
I'm going to go take the Bills. I think they'll win by at least 10. I like the under. Almost lockable. I'm not sure yet. I might lock it. But I think what's going to happen here, even if the snow isn't as bad at game time as it could be, I see this as being one of those games where it's cold, it's nasty, and like, you know, kind of like unofficially, you see like a wink across the field from McDermott to McDaniels, and it's like running clock. Like you're gonna try and get out of here. This is, as Goz would say, this is an under 3 hours and 15-minute game. Like this is going to be like a National Arena League game. It's going to be like a 3-hour game tops.
It's so funny you have that take because my mind was like, all right, this game's going to get decided in the first 5 drives. If Miami gets up 7-0 or 10-0 and Buffalo's got to throw through the snow, and Miami knows it. It's a huge advantage for them. But the way they do that is if they run the clock and make this an under 3-hour game. That was going to be my take. Unbelievable.
We haven't worked together too long.
We definitely.
Levack and Goz live from Mohawk Chevrolet.
I also get a little vibe on this game about that Jet game from last week where Buffalo seemed to be in control of the whole game, but right at the end, a little cover by New York, making a comeback, having an opportunity to win. I can see that same situation where Buffalo has a 14-point lead late. Miami gets a touchdown, and that new analytics stuff says go for 2 rather than kick the extra point, and the weather plays a factor. I would be careful on this game. I would take the Bills. I will take the Bills just like I did with the Jets last week, but this feels like a push. A lot of divisional games with that 7 and that 3. I always feel like a push is on the way. I will take Buffalo, Josh Allen through the snow and everything else. Jets-Lions. Jets are a 1-point favorite at home, over under 43.5 at MetLife Stadium.
I don't know. Lions. Give me Lions. I like the Lions. I think you're going to see a lot of points. I think the Lions will find a way to score a little bit on this Jets defense, even though they're very good. The Lions defense is okay, but it's not great. I think it's gonna be a pretty exciting game. Lots of points. Give me the Lions.
I should have done this before you picked the game. I teased this on our Tuesday show. Let's ask the question again, though. With these two teams, is this a dead or alive game? So the loser of this team is done, and the winner has a chance. Yep, loser leave town match on this one. Both 6 and 7 for Detroit, 7 and 6 for the Jets.
Yeah, I think so. Because I think, listen, with the Lions, you dug such a hole at the beginning of the year, you can't afford a misstep. With the Jets, I think you need to prove to yourself it doesn't matter who's under center, you're going to win football games because how solid you play everywhere else. So, but that banged up offensive line and the quarterback questions. I think Detroit has enough to do this. I think the Jets are kind of done at this point.
I feel like this is a little bit of a sucker bet. There's been a few sucker bets throughout the NFL season. Some I've sucked on, others have tried to avoid. I feel like I'm going to get suckered in here on Detroit because they played so well against Minnesota. They're playing so well. Here's the problem with New York. Even though I almost talked myself out of taking the Lions, I am taking Detroit. I'm taking the Lions for this reason. I've heard coaches say this before. I've played for coaches who say this before. Wide receivers, running backs, and quarterbacks, the skill positions. They would say to guys, go make a play. Go be a playmaker. Go beat your guy one-on-one. Go outrun this guy. Go make a play. We see it in the NFL. Mahomes, Allen, DeAndre Hopkins, Justin Jefferson, Christian McCaffrey. You know the big names. That's the problem with New York. When it's the fourth quarter, look at that roster right now and tell me who's going to make the play. Who's going to beat a guy one-on-one? Who's going to make a big play in the end zone? Who's going to make that linebacker, defensive back miss? They don't have playmakers. Detroit does. Detroit's got Williams. They got St. Brown on the outside. Jared Goff's been playing really well this season, and Hutchinson on the D-line. He's probably too late to get the Defensive Player of the Year for the rookie side of that, but they got playmakers, and that's the difference. I'm taking Detroit. And the last one, Sunday night, Giants, Commanders. The Commanders are a 4.5-point favorite at home, over under 40.5.
I feel like the Giants are kind of falling off. I'll take the Commanders. I'm going to take them.
If this game was played in September or October, and it probably was with those matchups of the teams, I would tell you, hey, Washington's defense is really good. Daniel Jones hasn't proven anything. I trust Ron Rivera against the coach who's in his first year. All of those takes that I would have given you in the first 4 to 8 weeks of the season, I'm going to recycle now in week 15. Washington is my play as well. New York has been so close, but Washington and New York tied just a few weeks ago. Now the game's in Washington. I will take Rivera and my boy Taylor Heineke. Let's have Heineke keep rolling, man. Let's make this guy a starter in 2023. I will take that. All right.
What's the total in Buffalo again?
Let me double check it. I had 43.5. Let me double check and see if it has moved. 43.5 is what ESPN is giving me here.
All right. That's my other lock. I'm going to lock it.
All right. Do you want to go first with your locks?
Yeah, I'll do it. So Panthers -3, locking in. I feel like they're playing hard for their coach. They know he deserves to be a head coach. Maybe it won't be here, but he deserves it. Give me the over for Dallas, Jacksonville, over 48. I think both teams will score a bunch. Uncle Mo is putting on his Jacksonville uniform. Momentum is in town for them. Denver -1.5 in this crappy toilet bowl of a game. I just think Denver is better than the Cardinals. And then under 43.5 for Buffalo tonight. The weather's going to suck. And even if the weather isn't terrible to be cold, and nobody's going to want to stay out there any longer than they have to.
My locks, by the way, we missed a game. I will get back to that. We did miss one game. It involves my Buccaneers here. Buccaneers, Bengals. The Bengals are a 3.5-point favorite on the road.
I like the Bengals a lot. I like the Bengals a lot in this game. They're lock adjacent. They're not a lock, but I'm definitely going to have some units, some R-buns, as my as one of my teachers in high school used to say, R-buns, arbitrary units. Be some R-buns on the Bengals.
I like Cincinnati as well because, believe it or not, in the NFL, the points matter. That's
what?
Right. Yeah. Goals to put the ball in the end zone, and Tampa can't do that right now. So,
well, because you have like we were joking about, who's wide receiver in Tennessee, who's playing offensive line for the Buccaneers. Like, you could probably trot out the supermodels that Brady's banging, and they could probably block for him better than the dudes that are going out there right now.
My locks for this week. I also like the Panthers. My favorite lock of the week is the Patriots over the Raiders. I love that play. I'm sticking with the Cardinals and Broncos over. Those offenses have some things to prove, but I'm sticking with that over in that game. I was dancing for my fourth lock. I looked at the Colts and the Vikings.
Bengals.
I don't want to take the Bengals, although I did almost take the Niners last week. I like those three really strong. I'm going to lock in the Vikings as my fourth lock there. Over the Colts today in a few minutes here. Actually, we kick off.
Yeah.
Close.
Yep. At the time this is happening on Techies Fire and Water Restoration's Facebook page. Of course, your best way back to normal. You got a lot of people flooded basements this time of year. Okay. Lose some power. Some pump's not on. You go downstairs and you got to swim around your basement. We can fix that for you. Techies Fire and Water Restoration, tefirewater.com. And 9 times out of 10, it's your insurance company to pay for it all. At the time you're watching this, we're about to get into kickoff for the NFL. Of course, college football already going, bowl games today. Love Mohawk Chevrolet. Love our friends here. They're always inviting. Big old Christmas tree. Great spot to be. So make sure you come on by and say hello to these guys as well. Is this it? Like, are we done? Do I have to deal with you anymore?
This is it.
Louisville's up 21-7 right now.
This is our last show that is live for 2022. We've got some Getting There with Goz. We've got some tape stuff coming up.
Have you told everybody what you're doing yet?
I think we'll save that for Getting There with Goz.
Anybody doesn't know yet.
Okay.
I feel like you have to say it. You're going back to terrestrial radio. You're going to work. You're going to work. I'm gonna say. Okay. You're going. Goz is gonna be the boss over at WGY and WOFX. He's gonna run those two things, and apparently can't afford me. I have not been made a formal offer for any of those places yet. So I don't know what I'm doing in 23. Goz has like 6 jobs. I have none. So. Good for you guys.
Thank you, Levack. I appreciate that. Yeah, that information is slowly matriculating.
Did they not really hire you? Because I know you had that other job where they just stopped showing up. And
they called me.
What did they say? Like, hey, why'd you stop? Can we have a key?
Where's Todd? Where's Todd McCloskey? Where's Todd McCloskey? Why hasn't he been coming to work? CBS, they were very nice, but during this whole process of adjusting for the fall, I did get a call from iHeartMedia, and I am currently an employee there, the program director, brand manager, whatever term you want to use for WGY, which is a unbelievable station, and WOFX, the sports radio station here. So I started there December 1st. A lot of those things that you're asking about will come in 2023. There's a lot
December 1st already happened.
Yeah. So I've been there for 2 weeks. 2+ weeks now. A lot of those questions people are going to ask me that I'm sure now might light up with comments or post show.
Goz coming back on the radio. Are we going to be on Fox Sports now?
I've said to those people who have asked that question, I'm moving my stuff into my office and don't have enough passwords for websites, guys. Can we go slow on this at least? I don't even know learning my staff's names, and people are already asking if I'm watching shows.
I got a call from somebody we used to work with. Like, yeah, we heard you went over to, you're at Fox Sports. I'm like, I'm not. What are you talking about? I work for Techies Fire and Water Restoration in the Albany Empire. That's where I work, and the 518 Foundation, which I have a lot of news about moving on forward. I actually do have 3 jobs, but I keep getting asked if I'm on. Hey, when do you start at Fox? I don't. They're not. There's people in power over there that don't like me.
DIC. No, I don't even want to spell it out. Can I do that stuff? I don't even know what I can say anymore.
Did you just call somebody there a dick? Is that what you just did? Yeah.
We'll have more information on that as it comes together here this holiday season, but it's very exciting. So yes, if you're watching this and don't watch those episodes, be on the lookout for some potential more places you can find Godzilla Media content.
Jay Larkin, good Lord, please have Goz get you a gig. I can't keep day drinking with you. Jay and I, Professor Larkin and I, have some very interesting things we're working on. Some very interesting things we're working on with some friends, some mutual friends. Now he made the introduction, and we'll just say what we're working on could be right up your alley, Frog Alley. It could be a big deal. It could be a lot of fun. It could be a lot of fun for us coming forward. But meanwhile, Jay and I have to sample products, and it was I gotta tell this story. So I meet with Jay. We had to try some stuff, and Jay, he teaches over at Schenectady County Community College, SUNY Schenectady, and he teaches the program like all the stuff. But one of the things he does is he teaches like how to make beers and things like that. So try some again. So somebody brought out the beer we were going to sample. I pull up a stool. Jay goes, "We're not drinking it now, idiot." And I'm like, "Okay." I thought whatever. Sure enough, they start pouring beers. I go, "Who's the idiot now?" Day drinking with Levack and Larkin. There's the new show.
Ooh.
Day drinking with Levack and Larkin. Actually, it could be Larkin and Levack. That way I get less trouble. So there you go. So it's just, I like Jay's a smart guy. So when he's wrong and I'm right, it has to be spread far and wide. So there you go.
I'm excited for 2023. I'm excited for the content, where it's coming from. I wish I had more answers.
So we're coming back with Levack and Goz. Like we're not, because right now you can't do Godzilla Media if you're working for iHeart.
Not exactly.
So this is the show is over. This is the Levack and Goz.
That's not.
You'll never hear Levack and Goz together again.
Do not say that.
It's finally over.
True.
Finally, the long nightmare has finally come to an end right here at Mohawk Chevrolet, where good things happen. That's what happened.
Like WWE.
Finally over. No more Levack and Goz
Don't
ever
listen
again.
to him. He's been. I don't know what's in that coffee.
Show.
As I will say to the Bray Wyatt fans of the WWE, be patient. Patience is all I can say. Things don't move as fast as we want them. That's what I'll say to that answer
all
about
over.
Content creation.
The long night is over.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We'll be having some best of shows on the way here.
Yep, Levack or Goz in 2023. No more Levack and Goz. It's all over. Levack and Larkin. Tommy Corporate.
Boston Dan's been making a play too. I see.
Yeah, but Boston Dan. All right, that's the other thing. So Rosen Berman, like we're supposed to be doing a show to end the end of the year. I thought I was part of it. I haven't heard anything.
That's on Barry, if anything, right?
I don't know. I like
Barry's a busy man. He's an international man of mystery.
Barry won't fight back. Dan will fight back. It's more fun. Barry was like, "Yep, my fault," and even if it isn't, like I can walk up and kick Dan right in the nuts and go, "Barry, why'd you do that?" "Sorry, I don't know why." Like Barry's just too nice of a guy. Where Dan could walk up and kick me in the nuts, and he'd be like, "Yeah, that's what you get."
You don't even know why.
Right. So, all right, that's it. That's it. That's it. All over. It was nice working with you. I'll see you never. There you go. Oh, wow. That's why
tickling right
sexual
there.
Harassment. Sexual harassment.
Where'd my thumb go?
Curveball Sliders wants it. Sliders and Goz. There you go. There it is.
Be on the lookout. Just keep your social media platforms and all the other downloads coming. We'll have more news in 2023 that I wish I knew the answers to right now. I have a baby coming in February, by the way, so that's also big news on the way in 2023.
You're a soccer player. Yes, you are. All right, everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and good luck with all your bowl games and your bets on football, unless they're against my bets on football, and then screw you.